Salad or Dolly, threw a great party. We all drank Bacardi, it got kinda gnarly. We're light as a feather, we're tougher than leather. Together we're weirder together.
Do you think people listen to podcasts for escapism or for relatability?
I listen for, I would say, comfort and relatability. I don't know about escapism.
Like, I guess the way I'm asking is, I barely slept and I'm torn over whether or not to, like, it's like when you have a cold when you're performing, it's best not to acknowledge it. If you're exhausted, does it wreck the illusion of, like, you know what I mean? Like, can the audience escape into a fantasy of us just all being cozy and being friends? Is it okay that I'm tired is what I'm asking.
Oh, right. You don't want to bring in, I mean, I always get.
You don't want to bring in bad vibes.
Yeah, I guess it depends what your attitude is. I mean, people get thrown off from different things. Like sometimes if someone has a cold on a podcast, I get a little nervous.
But isn't it weird if they don't acknowledge it and you just hear that stuffed up schnoz and you can hear the dripping. You can feel the swallowing in the throat. And it's
I have
like,
a thing for,
I know. So in a way, acknowledging it is a little more.
Yeah, you could just, it's uplifting if you're like, I'm tired. But so at what point of the fatigue, I notice if I haven't slept, I'll have these moments where I'm just hit by a 4x4 and then an hour later, I feel fine.
So you're hit by a cube, a 4x4. It's just like
a plank
or a plank of wood. Yeah. A 4x4x4 would be a cube. So just a big square piece of wood.
Hey, carpenter talk, 4x4.
Yeah, sweet. Biblical.
Biblical, man.
Cubic meters, yes.
Biblical. Yeah. So are you at what biblical moment are you?
I'm still longing for redemption.
Yeah.
I'm probably in purgatory. I woke up at 2:30 a.m. and
you're in Pogotory.
Pogo. Oh, that's just where everyone just pogos around, but
I just saw
in no
a
direction.
Very sweet Pee Wee Herman, and I think it was Forrest Whitaker pogoing on a skit, and I was remembering pogoing.
God, I'm just remembering Forrest Whitaker. What a presence.
Oh yeah. Wait, he's no longer with us?
I'm not sure. I was just thinking I'd love to have a cuddle from him.
Oh.
But is he alive?
I don't know, but so you're tired and you need a cuddle.
Is Forrest Whitaker alive? Yeah, we just get a date of birth. I don't get a death, which is great. Why were we assuming Forrest Whitaker was dead?
I don't know the way you were saying.
I was remembering him.
Okay.
I was just remembering his performances.
Good. Oh, yeah.
I mean, Ghost Dog. His performance in Ghost Dog.
Never saw that.
Oh, Jim Jarmusch was amazing.
Wasn't
RZA
he
did the soundtrack.
In Jacob's Ladder? No.
You might be right about that. I forgot.
So many things.
But I woke up at 2:30 and I guess I'm just, we're working so hard on, like, we've set up all these visuals now.
2:30 is too early.
2:30 is too early. And you kind of know that when you wake up at 2:30.
Even 4:30, if you were doing some Kundalini meditation.
4:30 is respectable.
It could be or if you're a farmer,
but
something or
other.
other.
I started listening to a podcast.
2:30.
And I rolled over or something, and you so lovingly turned to me and said, "Do you need to talk?" And it was so sweet.
I've stopped waking you up in the middle of the night.
I know. Did I wake you up last night though, or you just sensed?
Well, you didn't like hit me with your hand, but I sensed it.
Yeah, I was really I don't know. I was tense. I had this tarot. We went out for dinner. We went to Elf with our friend Di, and
She said it was a vegan restaurant, not vegan at all.
Not vegan at all, but sort of maybe somewhat organic or just a whole.
I mean, I'm not a vegan. I'm always looking to get back to it.
You're an aspirational
I'm an
aspiration.
I mean,
you're an ally.
I'm
You're
an
ally to the vegans,
and I feel always a little bad.
And you would never eat a vegan.
I don't think so.
No, you draw the line there. But I had the waitress or the bartender, she said, "Do you want a tarot card reading?" And she sat down and did our tarot
We kind of
cards.
asked her if she started shuffling those.
Yeah, but she was shuffling those things
those
like it was
Wait and Rider.
She was fully asking for someone to ask for it.
She was peacocking those cards.
She peacocked her tarot cards.
She was shuffling them at the bar, and I have that set. I'll just say, astrology, I think I said this before, and tarot are like the only two new age things I'll allow myself to get into.
What about a little balancing of the chakras?
No.
Nah, you're not going to balance those chakras. That's for chakras.
That's for chakras. I mean, also, that's happening anyway. I don't
Would
need
you
to
do a past life regression?
No, but I do love the past life regression in Defending Your Life.
Ooh, that's amazing.
Albert Brooks, where
Amazing.
he's a wimp in every life, and Meryl Streep is like a heroic.
But so we did this tarot card reading, and it was like a little provocative. It was really good. It was all
Yeah.
about moving out of periods of my life where I've had kind of a masculine, over controlling presence in my life, whether that's literally like, it could be like when I was dealing with gurus and everything, or it could be a father figure, or it could be just my own way of thinking about things.
The tarot reader did not want to have a sort of more therapeutic reading. You said it could be a sort of angry father within myself, and she said, "No, this is someone outside of you." Like, she didn't want to interpret.
She didn't roll psychologically.
She
That's
didn't
all right.
wanna roll
Respect.
she didn't wanna
Respect.
roll with
Keep it
this-
literal.
It's just an angry voice. and
Keep
stuff.
those literal tarot card
But
readings
I
rolling.
featured heavily in that reading.
You featured heavily. The first card was, a very strong feminine presence who's quite opinionated, quite controlling. And you were like, who could that be? Could that be your mother? And then she was like, and you're very comforted by her. And I was like, it's you, babe. That's you. You are
I am
the
controlling.
feminine controlling presence in my life. And I do find you incredibly comforting. And last night,
I don't control you. I try to control my life.
you control the experience of which I participate in your life. I would definitely I'm collateral damage to your need to control.
But I let you rest.
You do let me rest.
let you rest.
And last night you looked after me.
Yeah,
You
we
nurtured
got
me.
up.
love
I
it.
didn't sit up in bed like you did. I wasn't that committed, but I chatted horizontal.
It's funny. We had like a post on social media recently. I think it was when we did that Today Extra TV show in
Mm-hmm.
Australia. And some right-wing troll or something wrote beta underneath it, meaning like
you're
I'm a beta because I'm there with
A woman.
my woman. And I'm like, dude, I'm there with like a hot woman who has sex with me. Like that's
And I was like smiling like a Stepford wife. I was sitting there. I'd done my hair and rollers. I'm dressed nicely. I was grinning I thought I looked like too Stepford wifey, and you were doing all the talking. How could that be? Beta.
yeah, right.
Troll.
But isn't that funny how like guys who like I've been
What are you supposed to be like? Not by your.
you got to be jacked up. Like you got to be like, I think just the idea that like I was sitting there kind of looking like in partnership.
Oh,
like a
also-
sensitive guy in creative partnership.
Also, you had like blue hair.
yeah.
and-
What are you saying?
What I was trying to work on my inner masculine voice.
Yeah.
I was cutting pictures out, or I don't know. And I had Atticus from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Atticus Finch.
Yeah, Gregory Peck as Atticus Finch was sort of, I thought, that hit the right thing of a gentle father,
Oh, that's what you visualized
my
as you were.
my masculine.
Oh, working on your
like
inner
a nice.
masculine.
Do you remember that? I don't know what that was about. I was just trying to kind of sort of have a nice idea of what my father in me how I would be parenting myself as a
Right.
man.
I do love that idea. What would my feminine
Gregory
be
Peck.
inside?
I think I met him once because Cecilia Peck, his daughter, I knew a tiny bit, and he was so nice as a person.
How old was he when you met him?
Old. Whereas, like, sadly, Henry Fonda played as well a beautiful, gentle man, usually strong but gentle in a way, but apparently personally more tricky as a dad than Gregory Peck. Gregory.
Daddies are tricky. Daddies are tricky. But I'm trying to think who my feminine would be. I like to think that she'd be
I'm laughing already.
No, I like to think that she would be I think she'd be hot.
I think she's a mermaid from H2O.
Oh, Phoebe, not Phoebe Tonkin. Phoebe Tonkin. Yeah, Clea the condensation.
Clea. Because you're like fun and sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I am fun and I am sweet. I think I also got stressed because I'd put, I've been very non-political, very apolitical in general on socials recently. I think I got a little just burnt out after the 2020 election because we got so revved up and just involved in getting Trump out. And so it was like all hands on deck. It was like the bus was going off the cliff and it was anything we could do.
Setting police cars on fire.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, ACAB. And I think I just felt, we have this referendum coming up in Australia and I did not, maybe because we're not there right at the moment. It's been a few months since I've been there. I didn't quite have an accurate reading on how divisive the climate is in Australia, and particularly on socials dealing with it.
Yeah.
And to me, it's funny because I came out and I said, Briggs is someone who I really respect his thoughts and his politics. And he'd come out recently and said, look, you don't have to be a racist to vote no. For people who don't know, this is a referendum about basically enshrining a government body so there'll be an Indigenous voice to consult in parliamentary decisions that affect Indigenous issues. And Briggs came out recently and said, you don't have to be a racist to vote no, but all racists will vote no. Right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of true. It's like there's there's a horseshoe theory thing happening with like progressive no votes, progressive left votes voting no because they feel that it doesn't adequately address the needs of the Indigenous people. And then there's racists. And these two things are getting super confusing if you're trying to just make the right
Well, when they
vote,
say a voice in Parliament, are they going to shoo in immediately a bunch of Indigenous politicians?
I think it's going to be.
What are the facts? What are the actions?
It's going to be a body that's that I don't know how that's going to. And honestly, the fact that I can't answer that has been a big part of how the no vote has pushed confusion around it, saying we don't know the details. Whereas to me, and I think what Briggs was saying was, actually the details don't seem that important right now. This does seem like a symbolic vote about, are we going to recognize Indigenous people within our constitution for the first time? So that's how I've been taking it.
It's just complicated because is it, I guess people would say, is this just a sort of look
exactly.
We're going to, if you hire, one black politician, well, look, there's one black politician, but, and that is not enough, and then move on to the way it was.
And it doesn't address the issue. There's never been a treaty. And that's everyone that's wanted recognition of Indigenous people has wanted a treaty.
And so does the treaty include giving money back?
Yeah, there's
right.
so many issues. Yeah. But I just saw it as
there's
this
a lot
is the
of money
chance to
in
get
Australia.
I guess so,
What a big businessman.
But this is the issue. This seems like the moment to get your foot in the door and basically begin a process happening. That's how I was reading it. But anyway, it just I was curious, because we were so politically active in 2020, where are you currently at with your feeling about using your voice in politics, and is it possible? Is it worth it?
Well, meaning my voice on Instagram.
Yeah, I just mean your platform.
People don't like me on Instagram getting political. People don't like it. I feel like Martha Plimpton and I don't know, there's certain people, Sarah Silverman, so many, Jenny Connor even, that it goes down better. I don't know if it's just that I'm thin-skinned or if it just people are no, not from you.
Do you know what's interesting about it? All those
I would post very political things. I'm very
I feel like it's sort of
but I just sort of hold back.
Anger doesn't flatter you the way it does, say, Sarah Silverman. You know what I mean? It's almost part of what people love about certain people is their rage.
Yeah.
Whereas what people love about you is your ethereal, poetic kind of sweetness and compassion. So they don't want to it's they don't want to cross streams or something.
Yeah, I think so. I'm feeling whatever's moving me, and if it's kind of pro women and black and brown people doing things, I don't know, in a positive way, the good news feed or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would like to, I don't know what I would like to do. I would like to change a lot of things.
Well, that's also the political side of just being an artist and a human being that you are. I've always loved that Anais Nin idea that by being an artist, you are helping people become more sensitive and more in touch with their feelings and dreams. And so
Yeah.
hopefully they make better political decisions.
Yeah, and things sometimes
more
happen
compassionate.
in your life where you're directly affected by something and people kind of not even wanting to be a voice. I mean, yeah, like when we had Cub Sport on, I don't think they want to be a voice necessarily politicized for gay marriage, but they're a gay couple and
That are married.
They're married, and so I'm sure it's fine. Thankfully, so far they're great and doing fine. But you kind of just probably want to just have a nice life and just be in love and have your nice life, and then you find yourself becoming like sort of a politician. But I don't know what's happened to me other than that I'm a woman. A woman.
You're a wonderful woman. Yeah, I was left with the feeling of like, I ended up deleting those TikToks because I was just like, it was getting me embroiled in conversations that I didn't necessarily want to. I wasn't really trying to convince anyone of anything. I was just sharing where I was at and my process. And it just, sometimes I think like all you're doing is baiting a really divisive argument that involves people yelling at each other. Maybe it's better where it's just like personal responsibility and vote the way we want to vote.
And some don't. But
and the whole idea of just like sharing stuff on the internet, your political views, I just wonder if that really helps very much. Honestly.
I mean, I like seeing certain people's, but I guess some people they're just by existing and being great artists, they're doing something.
You had an idea that I'm not sure it would be classified as political, but it is innovative, and it was an idea for an app. We were driving along this week and you were like, Ben, take a note. I've got an idea for an app and I want to talk about it on the podcast.
Okay.
Do you remember it?
I do not.
It was about an app that helps you avoid lulls in conversation.
Oh, right. I was just thinking, you know why? Because a friend of mine was in a sort of make-out thing with somebody. And, they're already, it's like they're too in to write a normal response that's not like loaded or thought of, you think it through too much. But I was being a mediary and like, hey, meet us here. We're doing this. We're doing that. I had no
A mediator?
Mediary? No.
A mediary? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just had no skin in the game.
Yeah,
I was
I think it's a mediator.
Not a mediator, but anyway, I
a
was
medium. You were channeling the spirits of Cyrano de Bergerac.
Exactly. No, I didn't have. Yeah, for me, it was just I could write a funny little text, and it wasn't loaded, or I didn't have overthink it.
And so you were thinking of providing this as a service.
Well, first I was saying it would be one of those little books that you have at Starbucks, or those dumb books that you see in the checkout part of a bookstore, where you have all these wonderful books, and then you have these dumb airplane little ones books. So then I was like, what's the version of one of those little books that are like, 10 things to do in a barbecue, whatever those books are. I don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
What's an example of those books?
Yeah, like do's for husbands.
Right.
For husbands.
Yeah. And you said you mean like an app? Because this day and age.
Well, because I was imagining people trying to flick through
I
a
used
book
to
for
put those
witty
in like
responses.
a guest bathroom or something.
But then I was thinking what you really need is live chat tech support.
Yeah.
Where like the app is picking up what the other person is saying.
Yeah.
And using chat
And
GPT or whatever, it's coming up with responses for you to say in your voice.
It's an AI type of situation. And you punch in quickly sort of what situation you're in. Even like what do you say to a friend who's lost a parent, or how do you respond? How do you say no to an event that you were invited to?
Or to a teenager calling and hassling you about something.
And how do you respond after the third makeout, pre-sex?
Oh my God, I love that there would be an in-depth survey about the physical progress of the relationship.
Well, that's
like,
huge.
Have you seen the nipples? Have you touched either nipple?
How much do you like them? How many other people? But I don't know, something that sort of, because there's different stages of
have you grabbed a buttock?
I mean, I don't know. It just would be like, post first time having sex and them not responding for 2 days. Like
but you're assuming everyone's jumping into bed. I think this might be a long courting process.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you held hands?
Or turning, yeah, but these are just little texts. And it could be how would Snoop say it? How would, if you want to be cooler.
I love it. What I love is that while this strike is happening, we are continuing to generate ideas that are going to make us money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, how do you turn down, like someone says, can you read my script and you don't feel like it? Or how do you give someone a script and they don't want it?
Oh yeah. I don't know. What about didn't you have an idea also for a saloon or something?
Oh yeah,
back
that's
in the
another
day?
idea.
What was that idea?
Oh, going for
these are the graveyard of $1 million ideas.
I love it.
Yeah.
But back to, we learned from John Hamm how to say no.
Oh yeah.
To, and he said, I don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah, good phrase.
And that was good. So
Strong.
I would put bandwidth in there.
Yeah, I use that with our kids now. If Goldie wants to be picked up late at night, sometimes I'm saying, sorry, I don't have the bandwidth for that drive right now. Yeah.
My other idea was years ago with Amy Fleetwood, we wanted to open up a bar. And this would really tie into the two-stepping, gay two-step, is what's it called?
Two-step.
When there's
Queer two-stepping.
Yeah. And
line dancing.
Yeah. But this is a bar and it's a saloon. It's sort of like a Westworld, but the aesthetics are, it's not a Knott's Berry Farm. It's better aesthetics.
But with robots?
No robots.
Oh, okay.
A beautiful looking saloon that may be like Bruce Weber designs. I don't know. But it's a bar and Amy would have been the hostess. And then upstairs behind, I think I got this from Blazing Saddles. Upstairs behind the bar is a room. And Madeline Kahn is in there. No, but there's I don't know if there's a prostitute, but it's a room where you can sleep off the drinks. Or I think, I don't know if we thought.
So wait, have you guys just innovated and created the Wild West brothel?
Yeah, but I don't think I don't know if there's a prostitute.
Well, it's optional. That's up to the franchisee.
Yeah, and it just was like, it was like a themed bar, but not like the themed bar on Sunset.
Oh, the what's that place called? Saddle Ranch.
Not Saddle Ranch, like a very nice themed. And I don't know, I bet you it was from Blazing Saddles.
Well, I like it.
My hope to be chic, speaking of Blazing Saddles, is Mel Brooks. Every time I see him,
oh yeah,
his look.
Yeah,
he has a beautiful cashmere sweater and a polo underneath. And the last one, the little collar was tucked funny, but
I'm gonna become like that for you as I get older.
I am too. We might be twinning.
I'm getting all my eccentric fashion choices out of the way pre-60. From 60 onwards, my plan is distinguished elderly Jewish gentleman.
Yeah, because he rocks Jews love a preppy look, but it's like, there's something, about wealthy. Hopefully he's wealthy. I hope so. But people who get older, sadly, and have money, they do look pretty good.
Yeah.
They can take care of even like the Chili Peppers or something. There's something about rich older people.
I know, it's just the skincare and the massages.
Something's going on.
So, the podcasting world was rocked in the last week by the major development of Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag debuting their podcast on Spotify. It's called Spidey's 16th Minute. And we obviously have a very deep, it's not a conflicted, it's not quite fandom, but we feel a historic connection to Spidey.
Yeah.
Beginning with when we started dating, I was living in the Palazzo apartments where they were shooting The Hills.
Oh, right.
And we were going to Ledoux and seeing them shooting there and getting bottle table service and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we did rent our house out once, and Spencer hung out with John, our late dog, who's no longer with us, and was very kind to him.
I know. He was petting our dog, and I thought, this guy's nice. He comes across, his persona is like douchey, but he was very nice to my dog, and so I'll forever. But yeah, that's when we first started dating, and you showed me The Hills, and I didn't realize it was a reality show because I had seen one maybe Real World back in whenever it started in the 80s, and I never watched reality.
But this was shot like cinema. So
this was the new era of where they were shooting them like one shot over the shoulder
Yeah,
dirty.
yeah.
And I was like, this is the weirdest acting because it's like really good, but the dialogue is so
I know
LA.
you were like, these actors are amazing.
But they sound very like Valley Girl, and you were like, this is real.
It's reality TV, baby. But
that was
this
a good
show is fucking bonkers. Like, I just listened to the second episode of
really?
it today. It's
unhinged.
It's unhinged, and what's
more
so,
unhinged than Jello Biafra. Our
yeah,
show.
but Jello, such different beasts.
I know.
Spencer Pratt is so intriguing because on one hand, he's completely sort of Machiavellian and fame hungry and ambitious on the most base level, but he's so transparent about it that it's almost done with like a total little boy's innocence, and it's endearing. And you should hear him on the second episode talk about going to Taylor Swift. He had a full spiritual experience at the Taylor Swift concert. I was cracking up. He starts to cry at one point, and Heidi talks about getting merch sent from Taylor, and Spencer goes, "Did you say merch? It's blessings."
Oh my God.
She's like a guru to him. He said he's going to go 16 times to see this thing.
Is Heidi jealous at all?
Heidi is amused by him. She seems very amused. But
they're very religious.
And he is a fanatical dude. Like, I think the attitude that he brings to his career and fame, he also brings to crystals. And you know those hummingbirds videos of it? Like, he gets into things like 150%.
Yeah.
And it's just wild, man. They are really one of I can't like fully endorse, like I wouldn't say like you don't listen to this podcast to find out like the way you should be living, but it is an incredible character study.
Yeah, I know. There is something about them. I mean, there is something about reality, charismatic reality stars that, like New York and so many.
Oh yeah, I love New York and Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
And they're still together and they love each other.
Oh, really?
No, I mean Heidi and Spencer.
Oh, I thought you meant New York was with Flavor Flav. I was like, what?
I don't think so. But yeah, I just sort of find I am fascinated. I find something like, anyway, this podcast is intriguing. I'm like, because it's sort of like they get in this combative moment with on the first episode, the guest is the woman who does Dumois, the gossip site. And first question out, like first cab off the rank, Spencer asks something that I guess he wasn't meant to ask, and she gets very combative with him instantly. And it's wild, just in this era of like everyone being so hyper kind of controlling of the image they want to put out there. He really does come from the like, all press is good press. Let's do this thing, It's pretty fun.
It's good.
And
if you're stuck in traffic, listen to that podcast.
Do it. It's weird to be advertising a Spotify
not.
podcast, but I do.
I only saw one moment where she said she ended up on Vogue at one point because of her style, and he was laughing at her and saying, "Vogue, maybe Vogue Canada."
That's like,
and she was laughing.
I think I'm interested in it because like it is a little like us in the sense that they're a married couple who are revealing quite intimate aspects of the way they relate to each other.
Not to diss Vogue Canada. I'm sure it's good.
No, but it's saying you were in Vogue has a certain connotation that you got to pass the Anna Wintour.
Yeah, she took it very well. I would be laughing. Well, she has a good sense of humor about herself.
I'm excited tonight. Because this comes out Friday morning. So tonight I'm going to sing a song at the documentary about the Elephant Six Collective that Lance Bangs has produced, and I'm going to sing an Elf Power song. And it's I'm intrigued to see this. They were like you had a huge Neutral Milk Hotel.
Like many people. Well, I just, my kid was like, oh yeah, I was like, came so late to the game with that album. And then I was on a train, which is a perfect place to hear that type of album. And I did have my kid, Kate told me. And I had a big experience. Yeah,
I really liked Apples in Stereo and Elf Power. And so this is a doco about this whole scene of all these bands that all played together.
Where were they? What part of the world?
I don't even know if I know the answer to that. It's somewhere. It's got to be Midwest or something, right?
Yeah, lots of good stuff come out of the Midwest.
Where was the Elephant Six Collective based? Athens, Georgia. Yeah.
B-52s?
Yeah, REM.
REM.
Yeah.
Do they know each other, do you think?
I'm sure. There's a whole... much like in New York, if you were a band coming up, the hipness of your show could be measured by the amount of Sonic Youth members in attendance. This was in the 90s. And REM had a similar presence in Athens, that if you got all 4 of them there, that was the hippest show in town. If you got, everyone would talk about which members were at which shows.
Okay. I got a little lost with Sonic Youth.
What I'm saying is like the band, 'cause they were like the stamp of approval for alternative culture.
Okay.
So the hippest shows in New York would have all 4 Sonic Youth members there.
Kim,
Thurston, Lee,
okay,
and Steve.
Like I would know all their names.
Oh, you might know them. I'm sure you met them all.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then similarly in Athens, the REM members,
Nice.
Mike, Michael, Bill, and Peter.
Michael, Bill, and Peter.
Yeah. If you had all 4 of
Nicky,
them.
Ricky, Dickie, and Dawn.
Nicky, Ricky, Dickie, Dawn was actually based on REM in Athens. It's a little known fact.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Who was was Michael Stipe the person in Australia? Or?
Wait, do you mean Michael Hutchins? Michael Stipe was in Athens.
I know.
Michael
I
Hutchins
always
in
say
Australia.
I always get the Michaels.
Was there a band like that? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It didn't have the same. You didn't really have like arbiters of cool in the same way.
America
in Australia.
loves, and maybe France. I don't know. I'm sure other places are very into like rubbernecking and who's there.
But isn't it weird? America essentially has a lot less gatekeepers, I think, culturally, yet they do love a gatekeeper.
Less than who?
Well, like Australia, there's so many gatekeepers, I think, to get into the industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you about it sometime.
Okay.
Next time at 2:30 in the morning when I wake up, you say, do you need to talk? I was like, I need to talk about Australian music industry gatekeeping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. How about that? I think we just did a podcast.
I think we did.
Yeah. How are you finding it doing it with the cameras and everything?
I like it.
We're going to get them up on YouTube. They're not all going up at the exact same time, but once we get in a flow, they'll be up regularly. So when we first get them up, we'll put up 3
And we have
or
a
4 in a
timer,
row.
but it's stuck at 14. I thought we were waiting for it to be.
No, it's not stuck. Why you say it's stuck? That's just the time right now.
Oh, it's on
2:14.
It's on
Yeah.
not military time. It's on.
Yeah, it is. Isn't that military time? 24-hour time.
You do that in Australia.
Some of us do when we're
Okay, what's
gatekeeping the music.
15?
3 o'clock. Do you not know that?
No.
It's just
16.
minus 12.
What's 16?
3 o'clock.
No, what's 16?
Oh, wait. 16's 4 o'clock. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I said at first I said
Yeah,
15.
yeah, you were
and
right. I get
16.
it.
I don't know that. We didn't have
Do you
that
want me
over
to test you now? Just do you take away 12 from it? What's 17 o'clock?
here. 7.
No, 17 minus 12. I know math's not your strong suit, but you can get this.
4.
No,
wait.
17 minus
Oh, God,
12.
Ben,
Come
stop
on,
it.
you got it.
No, I'm
but
now
you're so
I'm
close.
freaked out. No, I'm not doing this.
Okay, it's 5 o'clock. Okay. We love you.
I'm too traumatized.
Hey,
by
wherever you are,
high
whether you're
school.
measuring in
By-
24-hour time, in 12-hour time, we love you equally. See you later.
babies, beautiful babies. Fuck.
Together we're weirder together.